Okay, welcome back everybody. In this video I kind of want to promote a channel that I am very enthusiastic about and I have been using as a resource for plants that I should be eating or maybe avoiding. He doesn't cover every plant resource, but he is a channel that I always check first. And that channel is Eattheweeds on YouTube, and eattheweeds.com is his website. So he has more information on his website than YouTube videos of him actually showing you how to cook with it as well as eating it himself. And so he's the go-to guy when it comes to foraging for me. But I still recommend, if you are going to get into foraging and you're going to start eating wild plants, I still recommend you get a local field guide with you who will actually take you out into the field, and they will pick plants as you go. You can sample and try them with somebody who knows exactly what they're doing. You never want to eat a plant that you can't fully identify. Anybody who goes out and forages will tell you that, especially if you've eaten a plant and you've gotten sick from it. You'll learn very quickly that the golden rule is, when in doubt, spit it out. It's very simple. In the world of mycology, when in doubt, throw it out. There's both terms are both applicable. Either or, they're interchangeable. But Green Deane is the owner of Eattheweeds.com, and he's really a very well-educated person as far as botany goes in general. His level of understanding when it comes to wild plants is more than I can say that I've come across in my real life. Better than most people, even local field guides. I don't think that even the local people here would have the range in not just identifying a plant, but actually eating it and understanding some of the medicinal properties. So I can't personally say I've met anybody who's more well-rounded than Green Deane himself. So if you have any questions as to, what kind of plants you should be eating, I never suggest to eat the plant. Even if you see me eat it on camera, I would never tell you to do that. I would resort you or refer you back to somebody like Green Deane, for example, who would actually be able to confidently give you the information and confidence you would need to be able to consume something. I don't have that level of confidence, even though I may or may not eat something on camera that may or may not necessarily be good for me. But Green Deane can, and he can assure you or whether it's safe or not safe to use. So that's why I never refer people to eating a plant. Generally, my channel just brings awareness to the plant, really, and I identify a lot of plants with you guys. That's why I started this series, HR's What's This Plant, so we learn together. We can identify plants together. Now that we identified it, the next stage is to find out, is it edible? Is it toxic? What are the compounds inside the plant? Is there a long-term toxicity effect? Is there going to be long-term damage down the road, damage to the kidneys, to the liver? All of this stuff needs to be understood after the identification process of the plant. So you need to fully understand what you're doing before you're eating any of these wild plants. So again, this video is mostly concentrated on Green Deane and his website and his videos. He's got a really great channel. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description, or maybe at the, I don't know if I can put him at the end of my video, like there's the card things on the end, whatever those things are. I don't know if I could leave his channel in there. If I can, I'll leave it on the end. You can just click and visit him. And I will also leave a link for his website in the description, so you can click that and go visit his website. But again, I would recommend, before you eat anything that's wild, even if you see me eat it on camera, I still recommend you do a little more research. Visit his website first. If it's in his database or on his website somewhere, really read what he has to say first, because he is somebody with a higher level of education in botany that I would probably say you would want to listen to somebody like that before you would listen to what I would say, eat this or eat that. That's why I never suggest that. In fact, whenever you see me do a taste test and you hear me talking about eating it, and I know that some people might eat it. For example, I did I think a flower review on the daylily, and I said it left a little tingling on my tongue, and sometimes that's an indication that there may be alkaloids or something in that plant where if you eat too much of it, you may have a reaction. The reason why I say that is some plants that may not affect me, you might eat it and your throat closes up because there's a compound in that plant that you're allergic to. You need to be very aware of this. Even though the plants, even with Green Deane, even with the plants and everything he's saying, like, for example, he eats Pontanella indica for 30 years and never affected him, but somebody else might be allergic to one of those compounds in there, and it can become life-threatening. That's why I always warn you to sample something first. So that's a little bit different than maybe his philosophy, but I always still recommend reading his research first, and then my follow-up recommendation to Green Deane would be to sample small amount first and see how you react to it, because if any of the compounds in there might be specific to you, that might be a problem. You need to know that before you start huffing down handfuls of stuff, because you can have a very bad day. And so something like that actually happened to my sister one time, but that's a side note. What I'm trying to tell you is eat things with caution. If you do have a allergy to something, you want to know now before an SFTH situation, because if that happens and you think, oh, well, I'm just going to go into my yard and start eating plants, and you start eating all kinds of wild plants, and you find out that there's little issues you're having above and beyond the fact that, oh, well, I could eat plantains, but you never actually did, and all of a sudden you're starting to eat them, and all of a sudden now you're having problems, and you're like, well, I thought that was okay to eat. Well, yeah, it is okay, but you may not be able to handle the compounds in that plant. So it's the same thing with vegetables. Like for me, eating radishes, you could eat radishes all day. I eat radishes, I'll have radish burps for about 3 days, and I'll get sick and nauseous from them. I feel terrible. I get what's known as crap belly. I don't want to be, but I get sick from them, and it affects me for days. So what affects me may not affect you, and what affects you may not affect me, and vice versa, and all that good stuff. So keep that in mind, that you may have sensitivities to certain compounds in these wild plants, and or you may have an allergy you don't know about until the day you eat that plant. But again, I recommend, if you do any research and you're looking to get into eating wild plants and everything like that, before you put anything in your mouth, go visit Green Deane's website and visit his YouTube channel and scrounge through his videos and see if he has a video on what you're actually looking for that's going to apply to what you're doing. All right, so that's it. That's just a quick video about Green Deane and Eat the Weeds. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.